Welcome to the Sedro Woolley Rotary meeting today, the greatest club in the Rick.
Get my eyes to work and read this. This is a prayer of thanksgiving. Let us remember that we are in the holy presence of God, loving Creator. We ask for strength, and you gave us difficulties to make us strong. We ask for wisdom, and you gave us problems to solve. We ask for prosperity, and you gave us purpose and brains to use. We ask for courage, and you gave us fears to overcome. We ask for patience, and you gave us situations where we were forced to wait. We asked for love, and you gave us troubled people to help. We asked for justice, and you called us to just lead with integrity. Lord, we have received nothing that we asked or wanted for, and yet we received everything that we need. For this we give thanks, and we ask that you give those families who have experienced recent tragedies in Virginia and Idaho, that they give them courage and strength to deal with their terrible experiences. So in your name we pray, amen.
Amen. The Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice, and all. And the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And Mr. Heisler has a song.
For the song today, you have the song sheets on your table. We're going to go to a tried and true one for our Rotary. We're going to do I've Been Working on the Railroad. We got to make sure it's up tempo, right, John? According to Bill. All right, here we go. I've been working on the railroad all my livelong day. I've been working on the railroad just to pass the time away. Don't you hear the whistle blowing? Rise up so early in the morn. Don't you hear the captain shouting? Dinah, blow your horn. Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn? Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Someone's in the kitchen, I know. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Strumming on the old banjo and singing fee-fi, fiddly-I-O, fee-fi, fiddly-I-O, fee-fi, fiddly-I-O, strumming on the old banjo.
Nice. Good job, Daryl. Do we have any visiting Rotarians today?
Yes,
Chris?
we do.
Oh.
We got Mitch Freeman, our speaker today, is visiting Rotarian. He's the athletic director at Skagit Valley College and also a member of the Skagit Valley Noon Club or Morning Club. All right. Congratulations or welcome, Mitch.
Welcome, Mitch. Oh, a few more.
Thank you. We have John and Brad from the Mount Vernon Club with us today. And are you going to do a PSA?
If you'd like. Go for it, John.
Yep, go ahead.
Yep.
You're going to join us today or tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening. We have our annual Rotary auction out at Heritage Flight Museum. And if any of you would like to go, just let John or I know, and we'd be happy to help you out. And we'd love to see you there. But thanks for having us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you and welcome.
Thanks, Brad.
Any other visiting Rotarians? How about guests today? Any guests? Okay, Becky. We have anniversaries. This is anniversary week.
We have a couple anniversaries today. One of them is Chuck and Tony. And we would like to hear a little bit about your sparking days.
It lasted 2 minutes.
What are sparking days? I don't know. Anyway, We met on a blind date on her birthday, on April Fool's Day, toured the Bill Spadel's underground tour in Seattle. And we've been married 55 years this month. And we have one daughter, 5 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren.
Nice.
Happy anniversary. And the other couple is not here, but they share an anniversary with Chuck and Tony. And they celebrated their 50th, and that would be Jan and Steve Massey. So we are going to give the rose to Cheryl to deliver to them.
Okay, thanks, Becky. Some club business, sound system. They're going to be here tomorrow, and they're hopefully going to finish up, put the subwoofers online, put the AM, the FM system in place. And then what else? Is that about it, or we're about done? Should be about done. So hopefully we'll finish that off tomorrow. We have a Christmas party on the 10th, December 10th, right here. There's flyers over here, and Daryl sent out a email last night as well. So don't forget about the Christmas party. Is there a sign up for that? Anybody with the Christmas party committee? Is there a sign up for the Christmas party? You put it together. Okay, just checking. District Governor Daraj will be here January 26th again. I've talked with David. Where'd David go? David, there you are. So he's setting up the programs for January, and it looks like we're all set there. Dictionaries. I didn't see Curtis come in, but I did get an email from him having an invoice to pay for the dictionaries. So I'll follow up with that, but look for an email from Curtis or about the dictionaries, putting those placards in and delivery and so forth. Those are coming up. Here's a special one. The Rotary International Convention. Who saw my email last night? Who wants to go? Yeah, it's in Melbourne, Australia. So that'll be fun, but wouldn't it be fun to send a couple people to Melbourne? So think about it. Rotary International, 3181. Every year they organize an international motorcycle ride. And I was looking for Ellen Schweigert. You know, Mike, I know you're not riding anymore, but I thought maybe Ellen might be interested in that. You pass that on to her and see if it's in India. But it might be fun. November. Does anybody know what November is in relation to Rotary? Sheena. Yes, it's November is Rotary Foundation Month. Tuesday, November 29th is Giving Tuesday. You can jump on the website, Rotary International website. And if you feel that you want to give to Rotary International Foundation, you can do that then. And of course, Centennial Celebration, still February 23rd. We have 10 seats. They're $100 a piece. So remember, we had our program last week, talked about the founding of the Anacortes Club, and we had 30 of our esteemed members back then go. So I plan on going, and I'll be sitting around, okay, Chad and some others will get those seats in, and I'm sure we can get more, but there's 10 seats that are reserved for us. That's all I have for club business today. Is there any club business from the floor somebody wants to bring up today? Go for it.
Well, I wasn't expecting to start any of the concert series stuff too terribly early, but we did get approval from the city of Sedro Woolley, so we got $4,500 for the concert series from the city, and then yesterday I got a call and we got an anonymous donation for the concert series in the amount of $500. So yay! Not sure who that is. If there's somebody here, thank you. But yeah, if anybody's interested in sponsoring, go ahead and reach out to me. You know, I start kind of planning for the show after the holidays, but knowing ahead of time what we're looking at financially always gives me a head start. So
Very good. Thank you, Chris. Any other business? We have one item I want to start putting out there. We had a board meeting a couple weeks ago, as you know, and Tim Hallen has been our auction chair for the last couple of years. He plans on stepping down from that position this year after this year's auction. So we will be looking for a new auction chair. So maybe a couple of your names came up. I'm not going to disclose who they were, but maybe a tap on the shoulder, maybe coming your way. So anyway, think about if that's something that you would like to do as after Tim leaves. Okay, that's all I have. Do we have a raffle today, Sue? Okay.
$70.
There you go. Now that had to be a plant.
Spin the wheel, take some wine. Oh, sorry. Lucky number 7.
Travis.
That's me.
There you go.
And 13. Sorry, that's me.
Okay. All right.
And 24.
Chris.
All right.
And Sergeant of Arms.
All right. I'm going to keep it simple today, but try to make a little bit of money for the club. Just a few questions for everybody. First one is, if your favorite college football team won last week, pay $1. If your favorite college football team lost last week, pay $3. Yeah. If you don't care, $2. Okay. In honor of our volleyball team making state playoffs, anybody who hasn't went to a game or match this year, pay $2. And lastly, with Thanksgiving coming up, if your favorite side is mashed potatoes and gravy, please raise your hand. If you didn't raise your hand, pay $2. All right.
Yeah, that's the way you do it. Nice job, Chad. Happy bucks.
So I have a happy 20, but it's not really happy. As all of you, for the most part, know, I'm a University of Idaho alum. I'm an advisor to a sorority for the last forever. So this has been a really, really rough week. Hearing from the girls Sunday, Monday night, they're all really nervous. Hearing the press conference yesterday, they got more nervous. But you know, there's good things that come out of tragedy. This morning, I got a phone call from a WSU alum who was working on the Festival of Family Trees tree, and she asked me to get an ornament because they'd like to honor Ethan with a U of I ornament. And so one of the girls who lives here in Burlington ran to the bookstore this morning, grabbed one so they can put it on the tree. And it's little things like that that really tell you that even when tragedy strikes, the good of people is incredible. So hug your loved ones, hug your kids if they're in college, and know that the Vandal alums, the few of us that live over on this side, we really appreciate our WSU friends because they've really reached out to a lot of us. So
I've got a happy 10. Today is one of my granddaughter's 6th birthday, and next Thursday on Thanksgiving is one of my grandson's 4th birthday.
Nice.
Well, about this time next week, I will have landed my 10th or 12th marlin or sailfish or whatever in Puerto Vallarta. So I obviously probably won't be thinking too much of you people.
I have a happy 10. My son got engaged this last week, which is pretty cool. The unfortunate news is his future wife is a vandal and is there right now. So she is pretty nervous. But anyway, that's good news. The second thing is I just yesterday put a deposit down on an African safari.
Whoa.
I have a happy 5 that I'll be Venmoing because this weekend at the museum, we're hosting a history hunt to fight hunger. So it'll cost $5. You'll come in and do the scavenger hunt, and then half the proceeds go to us and half will go to the food bank. Oh, thank you. 10 to 3.
I have a happy 21 from my husband, Michael. We went to the game in Eugene this weekend along with my 2 boys. Obviously, they enjoyed it a little bit more than myself. But I did have a great time. I got to see 6 of my former teammates. I got to be down on the field as the team ran out. So we had a great trip to Eugene.
Nice.
And I got a happy 5 that because Danny showed up and I got to ask that question to make her pay more money than everybody else. Anyone else?
Well, just a happy buck for the PSA that we were allowed to give for our auction tomorrow night. We'd love to see everybody there if you guys can come. So thanks, guys.
Perfect. Thank you.
I just got a happy 5 because I finished moving, and I got my mom moved yesterday too. So now it's just a matter of cleaning up the apartment and going, but no more heavy lifting.
There you go.
Anyone else?
All right. Nice job. Well done, Chad. Okay. Brings us to our program. And as you know, one of our projects this year we're hoping to get off the ground is pickleball court. So we have Mitch Freeman. He's the athletic director over at Skagit Valley College, and he's brought with him Dan Budzinski, who is also a pickleball enthusiast, and they're our program today. So I'm just going to turn it over to you two. Welcome.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited. I'm also a Rotarian. I'm over at Skagit Valley, and this is a lot of happy bucks that I've seen. Might be that our club's at 7 a.m., so a little sleepy in the morning, but thank you for having me. Dan Budzinski we're gonna bring him up here in a few to specifically talk about the pavilion, the Claude Blackburn Pavilion that's on our campus at Skagit Valley College, state-of-the-art facility. And we will be able to answer some questions that you guys may have and talk about some of the successes we've had with that facility, and some of the challenges that we've had, and in the future, the plans that we have for that to really grow and to support our community as a whole. Well, this is my third year, starting my third year as the athletic director here at Skagit Valley College. My wife and 2 boys, I got 2 boys, 7 and 9. We moved here. I'm originally from Marysville, but I spent about 15 years coaching collegiate basketball. I started at Seattle University, went down south to Cal Poly University, went over to the Peninsula and was at Peninsula College. And then my last stop was at Corbin University. So we've moved a lot as a family, and we feel like we're planting some roots here in this area. And we're excited to be here. excited to be at Skagit, and it's kind of a normal year, which has been refreshing. So I just got back from, we sent our volleyball program off. They're in the Elite Eight of the NWAC Championship Tournament. So they're headed down to Pierce. And so I'll be headed down there tomorrow night to go watch them play and see if we can take home a championship. A little bit about Skagit Valley Athletics before I get into some of the athletic development stuff, which involves pickleball. We have 9 sports now: men and women's soccer, volleyball, men and women's basketball, baseball, softball, and men and women's golf. We have 8 coaches that oversee those 9 programs, with our golf coach, Sedro Woolley, native here, Dan Graber. He oversees both men and women's golf. 5 of those 8 coaches are on campus full time, which is important. And we're trying to get to a place where those coaches are on campus full time. Super beneficial to our student athletes, our community, our retainment, culture building is really important to have coaches on campus. And so we're working toward that. We have 20 NWAC championships, 50 regional championships. We range from 160 to 180 student athletes annually that we scholarship. This year, the 22-23 academic year, we have 41 Skagit County student athletes, 74 outside of Skagit County. 24 of those are outside of the state. And then 22, which is a pretty big number, 22 are international, which we really want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to support our community. Sedro Woolley here in our county. But we also want to bring diversity and different students from outside the area. We think it brings a lot to our campus. We think it brings a lot to our community. And you'd be surprised, come out to a soccer game, and soccer has the most. They have 13 international players from Japan to South America to France. And it's really, enjoy watching those and interacting with those student athletes and their experience here. We award about $110,000 to $125,000 annually. That's money that needs to be raised each year. So the goal for us, the goal for my responsibility, is to try to raise annually $300,000. And we do that in various phases. One of the big ones that you were just handed out is our athletic auction. We have an athletic auction in February. It's changed over the years, but it's in February 4th at Swinomish Casino and Lodge. We've partnered with the Swinomish tribe, and we're going to host our event out there. It's going to be a fun event, but we also have various partners. We have various partners from sponsorship on our campus that we utilize, and they support us. And then the news facility, the Blackburn Pickleball Pavilion. So this is a $1.7 million project. It's a partnership between the Skagit Valley Pickleball Club, Skagit Valley College or Skagit College Foundation, and the college as a whole. So it's on state property, it's on our state campus, but it's really supported and funded through Claude Blackburn and the club and the Skagit Valley College Foundation. So where do we come into play in terms of athletics? And that's where we're essentially a partner with the club. And so what we do is we are in positions to raise funds and to use those to support scholarships and to support the club, but also to bring people onto campus and creating access for all kinds of families in our community. And it's been a whirlwind. We hosted our first event, the Harvest Tournament, in October, 3-4 weeks ago, and we had over 300 people signed up. And it was a 3-day tournament, and it brought in close to $20,000 gross for the tournament in terms of that. And that money then was supported by the club and Skagit Valley College Athletics. And so it was a huge success. And then we're expecting a tournament in April 26th through the 30th. It's going to be the Tulip Tussle. And it's going to be much larger than our last tournament because we're going to utilize the tennis facility, the tennis pavilion, to be able to throw in, to be able to have a variety, have more courts. And so we're expecting anywhere from 500 to 700 competitors, and we'll have all kinds of different things like that. So I think what I really want to get down to too, because I think this is important for you guys in terms of what it looks like in terms of putting a project like this together in terms of building a pickleball facility. And so that's why Dan's here. So Dan, come on up. I want Dan to be able to kind of talk about some of the kind of how the project got to a place and questions that you guys might have and go from there. So Dan, mic's yours.
Thank you, Mitch. Just a couple of notes before I start is Mitch was talking about the tournament that we just had in October, and then 300 players came to play in it. And that sounds like a lot, or maybe it doesn't sound like a lot, but what's unique about it is it's a first time tournament for that facility. Most areas run tournaments for 4, 5, 6 years and still don't get 300 people to show up for their tournament. You may ask why we only had 300. We capped it, so we knew we needed to learn a few things, so we kind of capped it. But we had a great tournament. The other thing with the facility, it is covered, so a lot of tournaments, not a lot, some tournaments are you go and play and you don't know if it's going to be 110 degrees in full sun, or it's going to be 40 degrees raining and a 40-mile-an-hour wind. With this facility that set on the Blackburn facility, all that goes away, so people can sign up for a tournament and know they're going to play. So just wanted to get that in. So a little bit about me. I started the Skagit Valley Pickleball Club 4 years ago with the goal of building pickleball courts. That was my focus, and that was the focus of the club when we started. We started with 24 members. Today we're somewhere over 500, I believe. A lot of that's driven by building the courts, specifically the Blackburn Pavilion. But anyway, we started out with working with the city of Mount Vernon, converting 2 of their tennis courts to 6 pickleball courts, lit, so they can be played all year round and quite a few hours during the day. That really opened up the area to pickleball. Before that, you kind of played on tennis courts, and while it's okay, the aficionados that really play pickleball like to go out and just play on a pickleball court with no other lines on it and stuff. So that was the genesis and the goal at the beginning. We got that completed, and Claude, I was introduced to Claude, and we talked about other opportunities, and his vision was to build a covered complex somewhere in the county such that it would really spawn pickleball. If you've ever been out there or ever played it, you can be on one court and there can be 80-year-olds on one side of you and 8-year-olds on the other side of you, and they're just all having fun. So it's a great exercise. It's a great way to get people out and moving, and it's a great way to meet other people. But Claude wanted to get that was his vision. Our club vision was still to build courts. So it kind of meshed. Claude and I worked with Dr. Keegan, who was the president of Skagit Valley College at the time, and came up with this plan to build courts. Took us, I think, from the time we did a feasibility study to the time we broke ground was just under a year. But it came to fruition. The complex is sitting on the college campus right now. There are people that show up from, I can't say literally all over the United States, but there's people that show up from Canada and at least the Western states to play pickleball. They're hearing about it. So as we get more tournaments, as we get more people know about it, there's just going to be more people come and play. I keep telling people, well, it's only 10 courts, and they keep looking at me like, what do you mean? At 500 members locally and people coming up to play, 10 courts will get sucked up pretty quickly. So it's interesting, or it's nice that the college is going to include the tennis complex in these big tournaments. 700-800 people for our first tournament. It equates to what Seattle's done. They've had a pretty premier tournament down there for the last, I think, 4 or 5 years. Last year they had, I think, just over 700 people. So it's quite interesting that we've generated this much interest in this area. And we've been told that the facility is a premier facility in this part of the United States. And it really is. What else can I tell you about it? The collaboration to design it was basically a group, let's say, I think there was about 8 people together doing the design work. As you can imagine, it was 1.7 million. We could have got a really nice facility for about 2.2, but we didn't have that much money. So there was some compromises along the way, but again, it came out to be a really nice facility that's really benefiting the whole area. I think that's all that opening remarks. We take questions. I'm sorry. I don't have, I wasn't that involved in the tournament, so I don't have the demographics. The entry fee, I believe, was 60, 65. Tournaments like that are typically you pay a fee, maybe it's $50, $60, and then you can be in up to 3. I think each player can probably play in 3 different categories, and every category you play in is usually another $15. But I know we had people from Oregon. I don't know how far west there was, but it was a good showing from all over.
The Blackburn facility, it seems pretty premier, for the area. Kind of long distance.
Yep.
Can you give us some kind of a perspective about down the I-5 corridor, what the volume or other facilities there are?
So a great question. There are more and more courts springing up on the I-5 corridor. I will tell you that as recently as 3 months ago, there was only one dedicated pickleball court in the environs of Seattle. All their courts they're playing over the top of a tennis court, so it's a multi-use court. And again, the people that really play pickleball love dedicated courts, so it just has stripes for the pickleball. I know that they're just in Marysville, they just opened, I think it was 6 courts dedicated. But beyond that, there's not a lot in this area. I'll give you a fact that in Opelika, Alabama, they put in a facility concept the same, but different design. They have it open 24/7. I think it's 10 courts. You can go and play anytime you want. And they had so many people showing up. There was a destination, right? So they had so many people showing up. They built another facility just like it right next door. So now they got 20 courts undercover in a complex now, and they're still having people just show up. But for the I-5 corridor, there's not a lot, which is interesting because pickleball was invented here, right? But we're kind of trailing on getting courts built here. You can only score if you're serving. So I'm sorry, I don't know tennis. I think tennis is you serve till you win. Something like that. I don't know. You serve till you win and then it changes. I think it's more like table tennis. something like that. But you have, typically it's pairs on either side. So you serve, and then if you lose, if you lose that point, you don't lose a point, but if you lose that serve, then your partner serves, and if they lose, then the other team gets to serve. So it just changes back and forth. There are singles if you choose. It's pretty aggressive, but yeah, there are singles. Singles, doubles, and mixed doubles, obviously. Okay.
That's where I come into play. You keep the pickleball question specific. So they're auto. Well, they're. I mean, they're supposed to be. When did you come? Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're supposed to go on and off, and they're timed. So you let me know if they're not on. Let me know, and we can always get our security to figure it out. But we had that early on, and then I think we thought we got it corrected, but. Okay, yeah. We think that's been corrected. Yeah, it's just a timer.
Yeah, the lights, yeah, they won't come on till 6 in the morning, and they will shut off at 10 at night. But if there's no action on a court, if there's no activity, there's motion sensors on every court. So if there's no activity, they'll shut off. Save on electricity. And they're all LEDs, and their lighting is 3 levels. So there's 3 different levels somebody can turn the lights to. So it's not a club, it's a private entity that built an indoor court. Yeah, Big Rock LLC. Yeah, they're members of the Skagit Valley Pickleball Club. Yep.
So quick question on courts themselves as you're building them. How many courts are covered? How many are not covered
As in that complex or any complex? Everywhere? It's more unique that they're covered than not. A covering just adds, I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but a covering on a court is a little more significant than most people like to lay out. But especially in the Pacific Northwest, there's times of years that you'd like to have a cover on it so you don't get the rain. And that, that's not an enclosed building. We designed it specifically so that to keep the rain off from it, but you can still have open air coming through and stuff. Yeah.
That's it. The last thing I'll kind of talk about, because it's a unique facility, it's a unique sport, and we believe that we've seen college kids out there, and now we see youth that are taking on pickleball, which to me is, the age range. So for our tournament in April, we'll have 12 years old signed up, and we'll have up to, there's really no age, but we had 80-year-olds out there in our tournament in October. So, but also the ability to do different clinics and camps and other things that the courts can bring that go outside of pickleball tournaments, and because our facility is a lot of money, but there are courts and they can be utilized, and I think they bring a great functionality and support and community together. And for me, I don't play pickleball. They're trying to talk me into playing pickleball. But what I am about is creating opportunities for students to come to campus and for communities to have opportunities to do a variety of things. And dollars come and go. We can raise money, but really bringing people together, people that may not have come to Skagit Valley College and checked out our campus and see our soccer complex or see something on terms of the academics, other things that we have to offer. So I think that's about it, unless there's any other questions. Yes. Well, there's always options, I guess, financially, depending on a variety of things. But yeah, there's space on our campus. I think the college itself has a variety of other opportunity. I mean, we get hit up quite a bit for a variety of other things as well through the county. So we're always in discussion, I think, and it goes above my pay grade, but there's always opportunities to talk about other things that we can do to support our community. Yeah. 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 Are we going to? Again, I think I mean, we've had I mean, we'll always have those conversations about opportunities to expand our department, to expand. I mean, we talk about other sports as tennis was one that we've talked about. Pickleball is one that's being talked about, but at the end of the day, right now, we're at this juncture right now, we're just trying to focus on one step in front of the other in terms of all the things that we've gone through. But I mean, I think there's always opportunities to talk about things for sure. I know there are programs in the NWAC that have started up men and women's wrestling. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Mitch and Dan, thank you very much. We do have a parting gift for you. Daryl, can you see if you can find those pins in the back room as your team captain there? So we have a couple of pins that you can use to sign off on those eligibility forms for the college. Very good. Nice job. Thank you. One more time for Mitch and Dan. Very informative for us. Thank you. Perfect. All right, to bring the meeting to close, any other club business before we leave? Okay, Mitch and Dan, thanks again. John and Brad, thanks for coming. We'll see you tomorrow night over at the Flight Museum, right? 5:30? Perfect. Chuck and Tony, congratulations on 55 years. Tony, congratulations, she's back there talking. Jan and Steve too, when you see Jan and Steve, congratulate them on their 50. And I think that's all I have. All right, let's close this meeting and to the greatest Rotary Club in the. Try that again.